Greetings, Fit Rich fam. It's your host, Justin David Carl, your favorite life alchemist, your dragon. Welcome to another solo episode. So I'm committed to becoming a better solo podcaster. So I'm putting in the reps. You gain confidence and skill through experience. So that's exactly what I'm doing. In this episode, I'm going to share one or two strategies for getting super fit, far beyond the average, a few tips and tools to take your money to the next level, some strategies to live your best life now, and the truth about finding your calling. If you found value in this podcast, consider sharing it with a friend and leave me a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple. This helps support the show and reach more people. We're all in this together. And when we do the work of fitness, money, and life together, we go so much farther, so much faster, and have so much more fun. If you enjoy your podcast entertainment on YouTube, I've recently upgraded to full video production. So check me out on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm slowly but surely creating more content for YouTube, and your support is what makes the Fit Rich dream work. Lastly, if you'd like to get a short, actionable email with tips, tools, and strategies to take your fitness, money, and life to the next level, I send out an email every Sunday that will prime you to have a breakthrough week. Join thousands of readers who are optimizing their fitness, money, and life. Sign up at fitrichlife.com/newsletter. No spam, just empowering AF and easy to unsubscribe if you decide it's not for you. So let's jump into this episode. So in the last couple weeks, I implemented a new fitness and recovery strategy by jumping into the Pacific Ocean. Literally, after every single workout, just about every single workout, I am going to the Santa Cruz beach and jumping into the Pacific Ocean for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. And the incredible thing about this recovery strategy, this fitness strategy, is literally in the last 2 weeks, by just jumping into the ocean and doing a cold plunge in a natural body of water, I am down 2% body fat in the last 2 weeks without changing anything else around my fitness regimen. I haven't changed my nutrition. I haven't changed my training. I'm literally just jumping into the ocean for 5 to 10 minutes after each workout. And then I'm following this up by warming back up after my cold plunge in the ocean in a dry sauna at one of my local gyms. So this does several different things. One, the obvious that I stated, it is just going to lower your body fat percentage if you keep all other aspects of your nutrition and training static. Like you're not changing, you're not eating more because you're jumping in the ocean. So it takes an incredible amount of calories burned for fuel to actually keep your body warm when you're cold plunging. So just inherently by jumping into the ocean or some natural body of water, or even like a fancy cold plunge, apparatus, or a poor man's cold plunge. I actually have a poor man's cold plunge at my home as well. It's just 100-gallon horse trough that I fill with water and then throw giant blocks of ice into. But I've just found, for me, it's much more convenient and a whole lot more just invigorating and nourishing to actually jump in the ocean after my workout versus getting into the horse trough. So this has lowered my body fat. It's improved my recovery time. Literally the next day when I wake up, I almost often ask myself, like, wait a minute, did I work out yesterday? Because my body feels great. So I'm spending 5 to 10 minutes in the ocean I consider it a way to, cool down after my workout and do a nature meditation. So I'll literally just be, standing there in the water. The water is up to essentially my neck. I rarely dunk my head. Occasionally I will, but essentially I'm just immersing my entire body up to, mid level of my neck. And I will just do this. And then after I spend about 5 to 10 minutes in the Pacific Ocean, I will then get out, dry off, and head immediately to the gym that has a sauna. And I will jump in the dry sauna and spend approximately 2 to 3 times the amount of time that I have spent in the cold plunge. So, for example, if I do 10 minutes in the cold, I will do at least 20 minutes in the dry sauna. Or if I've done 5 minutes in the cold, I will do at least 10 minutes in the heat, if not 15 minutes or more. So, a couple things to know about this particular strategy. So, the reason I'm using this strategy right now is because I'm on a mission to get really lean for an upcoming photo shoot that I'm going to be doing at the end of the month. And I really want to come in as lean and ripped and jacked looking as possible. So, this does a couple things. One, helps me recover even faster so I can train more frequently per week. So just by training more frequently per week, my fitness is getting better and better at a faster rate by improving my recovery and having stronger, better, more frequent workouts. Secondly, it is converting the white fat, which is the fat that you don't want, into brown fat, which is the good fat that actually helps your body stay warm. So it is literally forcing my body to convert that white fat into brown fat and just burn a heck ton of calories to keep myself warm while I'm in the nice, cold Pacific Ocean. The nuance for this that I want you as the audience member to understand is this is a strategy that I'm using to get leaner and more fit. So to lower my body fat and to improve my time to recovery so I can work out more frequently. So the most recent science actually shows that if you're optimizing for muscle growth, like actual creating more muscle on your body, you're actually going to want to wait 3 to 4 hours post strength training before you do a cold plunge, because in order to maximize muscle hypertrophy or muscle growth, you want to have and experience inflammation in your body. So that inflammation that happens after you break down your muscle fibers from the workout is a critical part of maximizing your muscle growth. So for me right now, my main prerogative is to get leaner and more fit and be able to work out more frequently per week so that I can come looking in tip-top shape for this photo shoot that I have coming at the end of the month. So if this were another time of the year, I would do my best to wait at least 3 to 4 hours post strength training to do my cold plunge recovery protocol. But in this particular case, I am going immediately after my strength training. I am going to the ocean, which is about a 6-minute drive from my gym, and I'm jumping in the ocean with little to no time in between finishing my strength training workout and jumping into the ocean for my cold plunge. So this is the nuance that I want you to understand, that if you are optimizing for muscle growth, let's say you're on a lean bulk or you're trying to put on more muscle mass, you'll want to do your best to wait at least 3 to 4 hours. However, if you are optimizing for fat loss and improved recovery time so you can work out more frequently per week. So, on a per week basis, you're actually training more frequently, burning more calories, and getting leaner at a faster rate. This is a great tool to implement immediately after your strength training session. So ultimately, you can pick and choose what is the best timing for you, if that's immediately post workout because you're optimizing for fat loss and improved recovery time, or if you're maximizing for muscle growth, muscle hypertrophy, you can do your best to wait at least 3 to 4 hours. Now, I've noticed in myself that if I wait 3 to 4 hours after a workout, the chances of me actually having the motivation and the desire to jump into cold, very cold water. I think the Pacific Ocean is around 55 degrees, and I've done cold plunges that are as cold as 38 degrees. Now, 38 degrees is fucking cold as fuck. Like, when I was on my anniversary vacation down in San Luis Obispo, the gym Headstrong that I was going to as a guest had a cold plunge that was at 38 degrees, and I can easily do 10 minutes in the 55 degree to 58 degree ocean, Pacific Ocean, but I could barely do 2 to 3 minutes in 38 degrees at the cold plunge at Headstrong Gym in San Luis Obispo. So, for those of you who already have a really awesome home cold plunge that gets down to 38 degrees, you'll probably be able to train up to doing more than 2 to 3 minutes in 38 degrees. But if you're not used to being in cold water that is that cold, it's going to be a heck of a lot harder than being in cold water that is, essentially almost, 18, 15 to 20 degrees warmer. So, um, just some notes for you. So usually the colder it is, the less time you need in it. The most recent research around all of this, both cold therapy and heat therapy, shows that to kind of get the maximum benefits for recovery, for mood, for overall health, is you approximately want to do 11 minutes per week of cold and 22 minutes of heat. Now, you can break that up over multiple days. This is just the optimal level in order to reach the kind of like optimum benefits. Now, for example, for me, I'm doing 5 to 10 minutes of cold therapy, probably 4 to 5 times a week post workout, along with 4 to 5 times a week of heat therapy following the cold plunge. Now, the reason that I do the heat therapy after the cold plunge is because, though it is actually more beneficial to let your body heat up on its own after something like a cold plunge, it takes my body a solid like 30 to 60 minutes to heat back up on its own, unless I'm really like working to, move my body around. So one of the more recent protocols that I've implemented to continue to test out all of this is, after my cold plunge, I will then stand on the beach side and I have a 5 pound club. It's a weighted club, and I will just gently swing that around while really focusing on my breathing, like big in and out breathing and powerful breathing, like to really help my body heat itself back up. Now, if I'm pressed for time and I have meetings to get to in the morning, I will just immediately go to the dry sauna and heat back up. Because, if I do 5 minutes in the cold, then I do about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes in the dry sauna. My body is warmed back up and I'm good to go. I think the science shows that the best results are derived when you actually let your body heat up on its own. but I'm also optimizing for time efficiency through using the dry sauna to heat back up. And in my opinion, something is better than nothing. And progress over perfection is really what you should be aiming for. So if you don't want to take the time or don't have the mental energy or fortitude to heat your body back up, don't be afraid to use something like a dry sauna or even a hot tub. So at my home, in the community that we live in, we also have a hot tub. So if I don't have time to hit the dry sauna, I'll just go immediately home, jump in the sauna for 5 to 15 minutes. Jump into the hot tub for 5 to 15 minutes and warm my body back up that way. If I'm really crunched for time, I'll just jump in the shower, a hot shower for like 5 to 10 minutes and really just assist my body warming up. So that's the first strategy that I wanted to share with all of you on how you can really be uh, much more fit than average just by utilizing strategically cold and heat therapy. A couple more notes. One, post cold plunging, you will likely experience elevated mood, like significantly elevated. And this is one of the incredible benefits. So, just for like mindset and overall feelings of well being, the cold plunge will leave you feeling super great. Now, before you get in, you're likely going to experience some anxiety and a little bit of trepidation. Literally every time before I jump in the ocean, I'm like, fuck, what am I doing here? And I can literally feel like the adrenaline in my body raising up because my mind is like, hey, this is going to be challenging and I'm going to have to work super hard in order to ensure that my body heat stays at a level, my internal core temperature stays at a level that allows me to continue to live. So it takes a lot of freaking work, a lot of energy, burns a lot of calories to maintain that internal core temperature when you jump into a cold plunge, whether it's an ocean, a cold lake, or a home cold plunge, whether it's kind of a DIY setup like I have, or one of the fancier, super expensive options that probably at some time I'll invest in. But right now, I'm really just enjoying having the excuse to do a meditation in nature, in the divine feminine of the ocean. And I just found that it is just an incredibly rich, fit rich life when I jump in the ocean each day. So, keep all of that in mind. This is something that you can test out and just modify as needed. Again, start small. So if you've never jumped in the ocean before or a cold plunge, maybe start with only like 1 to 3 minutes and then do 2 to 3 times that in the heat to warm back up. And then you can, over time, build yourself up to more and more duration, a longer duration in the cold or a longer duration in the heat. So your body will adapt pretty quickly, like day over day, week over week, as you do this. And you'll find, I think, similar to me, that this just adds like an incredible new level of fitness and richness into your life. And it's definitely makes for great conversation at the dinner table when you're sharing about what you did for the day. And it just really engenders a really magical, crazy, wild, adventurous life, especially if you're utilizing natural bodies of water. So I wanted to share that strategy with all of you. In addition, I wanted to share one other advanced fitness strategy that I employ in my own life, especially when I'm focused on getting cut and shredded for an upcoming photo shoot or video shoot or trip that I have. This is also an advanced strategy that I share with my coaching clients in Fit Rich Life Coaching. So I'm going to go over that right now. This strategy is activating your heart chakra, is how I like to frame it, before you work out for increased gains. So this is one of my secret strategies for being fitter than the average person, is that I strategically get way more bang for my buck when it comes to my strength workouts. The way I do this is by getting my heart rate elevated before I start my strength training. Usually, I do this by spending 10 to 20 minutes on a Stairmaster or walking uphill on a treadmill, but really any cardio machine or physical cardio activity will do. You could run, you could do jumping jacks, you could use the stationary bike, you could bike to the gym, and essentially what I'm doing is a very simple strategy. I spend the first 5 minutes going fairly slow and just getting my body warmed up. Then, for minutes 5 and beyond, I proactively work towards getting my heart rate zone up to heart rate zone level 4, and then just briefly touch zone 5 for 30 to 90 seconds. Then I will go immediately start my strength training. So, by implementing the strategy, my heart rate will stay elevated during my entire workout, and I'll end up burning significantly more calories than if I had not gotten my heart rate up before starting my strength training. A nice benefit of this strategy is that it leads to, at least for me and many of my friends who also are super fit and use this strategy, it leads to an even better strength training session because my body engine is warmed up, which results in way more new personal records or PRs on most of my lifts when I'm strength training. So, in order to know what heart zone level you are in, you will need a reliable heart rate monitor. I personally prefer a chest strap heart rate monitor as they are much more accurate, especially during activities like lifting weights. I've done personal tests on this where I'm wearing a wrist heart rate monitor and also wearing a separate heart rate monitor chest strap that's linked to a watch, and I've tested, and the wrist one that's not connected to the chest heart rate monitor is like way off when I'm lifting. Now what I've found is that for activities like running or hiking where you're going through this movement where your hands are in a that back and forward motion, the wrist heart rate monitors are fairly accurate. But when you're doing something like lifting, where maybe you're doing pull ups and your arm is not moving at all, the heart rate monitor that's literally just checking through your wrist is really inaccurate. And so you don't need a super crazy expensive smartwatch like the Garmin that I wear. So I have the Garmin Phoenix 7X Solar Sapphire or whatever it's called. I'll put the link to it in the show notes. But basically, you'll need some sort of accurate way to measure your heart rate levels. And then some actual good options is you can just get a chest strap heart rate monitor and pair it with your phone. So you don't even need to invest in a fancy watch if you don't already have one. You can just get a heart rate monitor chest strap and then link that to your phone, and then the apps that work with the chest straps will show you what heart rate level you're at. So some of my favorite art options are the Garmin HRM Pro Plus chest strap. It's what I use, but I really only recommend it to those using a Garmin watch like I am. Another great option is the Wahoo Ticker X. This is the most comfortable chest strap I'm aware of, and it can be paired with your smartphone via an app that is available for iOS and Android. And then another great option is the Polar H10 that also has an iOS and Android app that you can use to monitor your heart rate zones. So everyone's heart rate zones are different depending on your age and your current level of fitness. So essentially, what I would encourage you to do is just Google calculating target heart rate zones, and then figuring out which zones are your zones for zone 1 through 5, and then you can use that to implement this strategy. You'll want to build up slowly up to zone 4, and then briefly touch zone 5 for 30 to 90 seconds, and then go start your workout. So all three of those chest heart rate monitors pair with many smartwatches. So if you already have a smartwatch, this is a great way to actually be untethered from your phone. So you don't have to have your phone with you checking your heart rate. You can literally just look down at your smartwatch and see what zone you are doing. So the reason I love the Garmin is because it's always showing me which heart rate zone I'm in. And then I can essentially just watch that. And then as I hit zone 4, I am working diligently to get to that zone 5 just for 30 to 90 seconds. So I'll put links for my Garmin watch, for the 3 chest strap heart rate monitors that I mentioned, all in the show notes for you. So that is strategy number 2. So literally, just by implementing this, I probably burn an additional like 200 to 500 calories per workout, versus if I just go, do a brief kind of like dynamic stretching warm up and then start my strength training, because my heart rate won't get up. It definitely won't get up, most likely to the highest level that I got up during the kind of activating your heart chakra strategy that I mentioned, using a Stairmaster or a treadmill or some cardio machine. And it will just take a lot longer, right? So like oftentimes I've started a strength training session, and it won't really be until like 20-30 minutes in that I actually get my heart rate up significantly. So just to kind of recap, spend the first 5 minutes on your cardio machine of choice, just warming up. After about 5 minutes, strategically, progressively, proactively work towards getting into zone 4. And then once you hit zone 4, work to get up into zone 5 for just 30 to 90 seconds. You don't need to do, usually I can do all of this in about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on kind of how rested my nervous system is and where I'm at mentally, emotionally. Sometimes it will take me a little bit longer to get my body and my heart rate warmed up. But this is an incredible strategy where you'll just get so much more bang for your buck out of your strength training, and you will likely achieve much more personal records or PRs on your different strength training lifts. So give this one a shot. Let me know what you think of it, and let's go to a strategy around money. But before I do that, I want to share an update on one of the show's sponsors, just because it's been another recent thing that I've implemented that's been really fun for me. So NoCal here is one of the sponsors of this podcast, and this is my favorite protein bar. Now, it's plant-based. As I'm plant-based, it's got 20 grams of plant protein in it, which is incredible. And this is a newer flavor. So this is the dipped, and I'm holding it in front of the camera for those who are just listening. But this is the dipped birthday cake. So right now, this is my dessert every single night. So I have cake for dessert every single night, and I'm getting more and more ripped. And my hack for this is that I actually stack it with a rice cake. So I take a bite of a rice cake, and then I take a bite of the NoCal birthday cake bar, and it's the dipped version. So make sure you get the dipped version. And it literally just tastes like this incredible like birthday cake with like crunchy popcorn. And it is delicious as fuck. It really feeds and nourishes that, inner child part of me that loves to have dessert every single day and still be super, super fit. So a couple of reasons I love the no-cal bars is because ultimately they are a much lower calorie protein bar than many of the many of the protein bars out there. So some protein bars have 3, 4, even 500 calories per bar. That is crazy amount of calories that you don't need. It also has, as I mentioned, 20 grams of protein, which is a lot of protein, and 15 grams of dietary fiber. So fiber helps you feel full and stay feeling full. And the fat, it only has about 6 grams of fat in it. Now, they also have bars that are not the dipped version. So this has like this awesome kind of like coating layer over it. And the non-dipped versions actually have even lower fat. But for me, the extra dipped, outer layer is worth the extra fat. So I've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. Most protein bars are actually fat bars disguised as protein bars. And the way you would figure that out is you would actually look and see how much fat is in the bar and what percentage of the calories in the bar is coming from fat. And oftentimes, if you actually do the math, you'll realize that the highest percentage broken down between fat, protein, and carbs is actually from the fat or carbs. Now, the carbs in this are higher, they're 27 grams, but 15 grams of that is fiber and another 8 grams is sugar alcohol. So, this particular bar really only has 4 grams net carbs. So, this by far is a true protein bar and it is delicious as fuck. If you're interested in trying the birthday cake dipped no-cal bar, you can go to nocal.com and find that on their website, and you can use code DRAGON for a huge discount. So let's talk a little bit now about money. So one of the easiest ways to improve your money is to track and measure it. So what gets measured gets managed, empowered, and manifested. So if you want to improve your money situation, your money game, you need to actually track and measure it. So at the end of 2014, I started tracking my money, including my income, expenses, investments, net worth, and savings rate. And guess what happened? I became a millionaire within 2 years and a multimillionaire within 3 years of starting this money tracking habit. Was this just happenstance? Definitely not, in my personal opinion. By tracking my money, I was able to consciously and proactively influence the direction and rate at which my wealth grew. So, just like with a GPS system, you have to know, the GPS system has to know where you are in order to get you to go, to give you directions on where you actually want to go. So if you don't know where you are at financially, it's virtually impossible to actually go where you want to go, which is to financial freedom, financial independence, becoming a millionaire. So I use Personal Capital, which is now called Empower Personal Dashboard, and I also use Mint. Now, I'm a tracking nerd, so I use 2 different money tracking apps, both of which are available on iOS and Android, as well as they have a great website interface. So you don't need to use both. You can use one or the other. I would recommend just checking them both out and seeing which one feels like a better user experience for you. I just really love to track stuff, and I found that when I track things with more than one tracker, it actually gives me better insight and understanding as to what is going on. So I repeat this same thing with my fitness. So I wear a Whoop, I wear an Aura ring and I wear a Garmin. And then when I'm working out, I'm actually wearing a chest heart rate monitor strap in addition to that to get super accurate results. So again, you don't need to go super crazy extreme on your tracking in either your fitness or money, but you do want to be using some reliable form of tracking for your fitness and for your money. Related to this, let's transition into a life strategy to improve your life and start living your best life now. So, in order to improve any area of your life, what you will want to do is track the key lead indicator and key lag result to improve any particular area. So, the key lead indicator is the thing that you need to do and track daily or weekly in order to achieve the goal. For fitness, that could be the food and calories you consume. For sales, that would be the number of sales calls you made. For a relationship, that could be the number of times you took your significant other out on a special date within the month. Now, I always tell my clients, you can take your significant other out on a date that costs virtually nothing. You do not have to spend money on your significant other in order to create a special experience. There are loads and loads of things to do that are low cost or completely free. You can go hiking. You can go to the beach. You can go visit a museum on one of their days of the month that is either free or really low cost entry. There are tons and tons of things that you can do for free. But essentially, if you want to improve your relationship, one of the things you could do, and this is something I've done in the past when I was proactively working to improve my relationship with my wife, was each week I would have her rate me 1 out of 10. So I would say at the end of the week, maybe on Sunday or Saturday, and say, hey, babe, based on the last 6 or 7 days, 1 out of 10, how would you rate me as your husband? 10 being like, I totally crushed it. I was very loving. I was present. I was, giving her lots of hugs and kisses. And a 1 was like, I was so distracted or stressed out with work that I hardly paid any attention. And I was, in a sense, a terrible fucking husband. So that would be a 1. And then she would let me know, based on 1 out of 10, where I landed. And then after she gave me that result, I would then ask her, okay, I'm at, say, a 7. What would I have to do this upcoming week to get a 10 out of 10? And then I would listen to her and take notes. So she would literally just think through, okay, here are the things that if they happened in our relationship, I would feel like I have a 10 out of 10 relationship with my husband. And so then the following week, I would do my best to deliver on those particular actions and activities that would lead me to achieve a 10. So this is a great thing to do with your significant other. If you feel like your relationship isn't where you want it to be, is to start asking for a feedback on how you are doing. So hopefully that all makes sense. But my challenge to all of you is to start tracking one important area of your life over the next few months and watch how it can radically improve with the consistent measurement and proactive action based on what the tracking data is showing you. So circling back, because I just want to make sure this makes sense. The key lead indicator for fitness, that would be the food or calories you consume. For sales, that would be the number of calls you made. For a relationship, that could be the number of times you took your significant other out on a special date. And the key lag result for fitness would then be your weight and body fat percentage. For sales, it would be the amount of actual sales generated. For a relationship, it could be the relationship score your partner gives you based on your performance over the last week or month. So the lead indicator is usually what is the activity that you have to do, whether that's tracking your food, making a certain number of calls or taking your significant other out on a certain number of dates. And the lag result is the actual result of that activity. So, based on your food and calories consumed, in addition to your workouts, you would have a particular body weight or body fat percentage based on the number of sales calls or sales emails you did. You would have a certain amount of sales generated for a particular month. And based on the number of activities that you did with your significant other, you would have a lag result in the form of whatever your performance rated number was that was given to you by your significant others. So again, if you want to improve any area of your life, just start tracking the key lead indicator and measuring the lag result, tracking both of those. So what gets measured gets managed, empowered, and manifested. So if you want a fit, rich life, track your fitness key lead indicators. For your money, track your key lead indicators and the lag result, and same thing with your life and your relationship. So next, I want to talk about the idea of finding yourself. And this will likely be the last thing I cover. But before I do that, I do also want to talk about another sponsor of the show. So for a long time, I've been a veg athlete. So veg is a nutrition company that I absolutely love and truly believe in. I know all the owners. I know the people who actually formulate the products, and everyone within that company is vision, value, and mission aligned with me and what I'm up to in the world. And they recently reformulated their multivitamin, what they call Veg Essential. So it's all in one multivitamin, and it helps support memory, immune health, inflammation, and heart health. So this has vitamin D, which most people, unless you live in a crazy sunny place, like even California, Northern California, or even Southern California, you're probably not getting enough sunshine to get enough vitamin D. So vitamin D is incredible for your supporting your hormone levels and your mood. This also has vitamin B12. So most people are deficient in both vitamin D and vitamin B12. In addition, they're not getting enough magnesium or zinc, and probably not enough selenium. And K2 as well is another one that's really great because it actually increases the absorption of all the other things in this particular supplement. So, lastly, this has all the healthy omegas. So it has omega 3, and it has DHA, and EPA. Now, this is completely plant based because I am plant based, and this is just what I take each and every single day in order to maximize my overall health and well being. It's just one simple pill per day. So if you'd like to check out Veg Essential, go ahead and head over to vegnutrition.com/dragon, and you can use code dragon at checkout in order to save some money and support the show. So I never promote anything that I don't savagely use in my own life. So this was the next thing that I just wanted to share with you. Veg also has my favorite pre-workout. They have my favorite pump product that makes you just feel super full and vascular at the gym. And they have my favorite plant protein. So definitely head over to vegnutrition.com/dragon and check out the supplements that you think would support your optimal fitness and well-being. Add them to your cart and use code dragon at checkout. All right. So let's talk about finding yourself. So by default, if you are trying to find yourself, it means you are lost. And this leads to a ridiculous amount of unnecessary anxiety and existential angst. I know because this was me. literally most of my 20s and much of my early 30s, I was trying to quote unquote find myself. And of course, it was very challenging because I felt lost, because I was trying to find myself. Like, who am I? What am I meant to do? Oh, I'm not living the life I should be living. I should be more successful by now, et cetera, et cetera. So what I've now learned is that trying to find oneself is a terrible strategy for life. Instead, reframe your life strategy to something that is actually in your control, truly in control. And you do this by proactively creating yourself. I repeat, you do this by proactively creating yourself, not trying to find yourself, but actually creating yourself. The neat thing is that it doesn't even matter what or how you choose to proactively create yourself. You can literally just choose to be blank, choose your own adventure, whatever thing you want to be, and start taking action as if you were going about creating and living that state of being. So if you want to be a content creator, you would then just start creating content as if you're a content creator and living that state of being. And in short order, you will discover if whatever you chose is a good fit. So if it doesn't feel like a good fit, that's totally okay. Just pick up a new creative outfit or expression and repeat the process until you identify a creative state of being where you start to actually feel pulled into it. This is where it just fits so well that you want to embody it even more. You will feel the click from pushing to become blank to being pulled faster and faster into becoming a greater and greater version of blank. Fill in the blank with whatever it is that you aspire to become. Content creator, an athlete, a great husband, a great wife, a incredible businessman or woman. So really just choose what you want to be and then start taking action from that state of being and proactively create yourself. So, in conclusion, stop trying to find yourself and instead take matters into your own hands by proactively creating your best self, no matter how many iterations it takes. And by using this proactive life strategy, you will create your best self. And the really cool thing is, this will change over life, over time, right? In a certain period of your life, you may want to be XYZ. But then 5-10 years later, you realize there is another aspiration, another thing or person that you would like to become, or an additional evolution or iteration. And then you will go take new action and create a whole new state of being. And this is a never ending process of creating and recreating yourself throughout all of life. So instead of getting lost in the muck and mire of trying to find yourself and feeling lost, be super vigilant and proactive about actively creating yourself. And this will give you a very rich life. So that is the main topics for this particular solo episode. Again, if you've enjoyed the podcast, do me a huge favor. Take 30 seconds, literally just 30 seconds. Give me a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify and write me a review on Apple. That really empowers the show to grow, supports the show so I can keep creating tons of free content for you to alchemize your fitness, money, and life to the next level. Sign up for my newsletter because I share tips, tools, and strategies just like the ones that I shared here in a easy to digest, quick to digest format every single Sunday to prime you to have an incredible breakthrough week. And lastly, if you're interested in working with me as a coach, I would be honored to connect with you and see if it would be a good fit. So I work with a ton of top performers, proactively working to create their individual customized fit rich life. And the program has been in effect for the last year, and we have massive amounts of success with all of our members. Literally, we've had one member pay off $62,000 of debt during his time in the program. We've had another member achieve her dream job. We had another member who was looking to break into business to business technology sales and take his income from around 50 or 60,000 a year up to the potential of 200 to 300,000 plus per year. So I work with high performers, top performers who are looking to take their fitness, money, and life to a whole new level. If you are interested in potentially joining the Fit Rich Life coaching program, go ahead and head over to fitrichlife.com/coaching, or you can literally just drop me a DM on Instagram with the words Fit Rich Life, and we can chat and see if it's a good fit for both of us. I only work with people who are a good fit for the program, and if my program is a good fit for them. So, as most of you know, I'm financially independent. I do not need to make more money, but I am on a mission to empower people to proactively design and truly live a life worth living. And one of the main ways I do that, in addition to all the free content that I create, is through individual one-on-one customized coaching. So definitely check out Fit Rich Life Coaching if you've been looking for a coach or a program that will really empower you to take your fitness, money, and or life to the next level. Coaching changed my life. Literally, I started working with a coach in my around age 32 or 33. I'd spent approximately 15 to 20 years trying to get abs and get the muscular body that I dreamed of. Thought I just didn't have the genes for it. Then I started working with an online coach, and in 6 months, I got the body of my dreams, and I've maintained and built upon that body for the last 9 years. I've literally been sub 10% body fat for the last 9+ years in a row. Then I repeated the same exact thing with my money. I was $80,000 in debt, 6 years behind on my taxes. I started working with money and career coaches. I paid off that 80 grand in debt. I freaking started making a fuck ton of money that my coaches really coached me to achieve that level of income. Literally, I went from making probably around 100 grand to then making 400 grand to then making over 700 grand to then almost making $900,000 in a single year. This is the power of coaching, and having someone who's not only holding you accountable to become the person that you want to become, but they're empowering you to avoid all the mistakes and wrong paths that may take years or even decades. So all of this shit you can figure out on your own. You can literally just Google, how to get fit, how to get rich. But what you're paying for in a coaching program is speed. So like if I had gotten coaching in my 20s instead of in my 30s, I would have been fit, like at the level where I'm stoked to be shirtless and have lots of shirtless photos on my Instagram, 10 years sooner. 10 fucking years sooner. And if I had gotten coaching for my money, I would have reached millionaire status 10 years earlier, and I would probably be at a net worth of 10 million to 20 million instead of a single digit multimillionaire. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, when we do the work of fitness, money, and life together, we go so much faster, so much farther, and have so much more fun. And fun is a huge part of my Fit Rich Life coaching program, because if we're not fucking having fun, what's the fucking point? So if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, being a part of the Fit Rich Life coaching community, literally all the members say that is one of the best aspects of the program, is just being in community with other people who are striving to improve their fitness, money, and life. go ahead, drop me a DM on Instagram, Fit Rich Life. I'm Justin David Carl at Instagram, or visit fitrichlife.com/coaching and book your free consultation today. Wishing you all an incredible, magical month of improved fitness, money, and life, and divine experiences jumping into natural bodies of water. Until next time, be well and stay tuned for additional free, empowering content on this podcast and in my newsletter, as well as on all the socials. Have fun. Take care.